Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, friends and family beyond the binary, good evening and welcome to another Peachimari's Overwatch matchup. My name is Warren Jugglegod Hammond, and tonight I'm joined on the mic by Pokemon Pat. How are you, my friend?
I am doing amazing. How about you?
I am doing well. Excited to see Shattered Void go up against VCU tonight. I don't know a whole lot about either of these teams, so I'm coming into this expecting some excitement, expecting to be surprised, and can't wait to see what both these teams are gonna throw at us.
Yep, I either. One all I know is one is a VCU, which is a college in Virginia, and that's
Mm-hmm.
it.
Yeah, VCU, that's actually near my old stomping grounds. I grew up in Roanoke, Virginia, which is in the mountains. I believe VCU is actually, I think it's in the Radford area. I'm not entirely sure. Somebody in chat can correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, lovely to see a college team coming into the Peachimari's tournament. Really curious to see what they're gonna roll out on and you know what we're going to see, starting out particularly on Lijiang Tower, where you can see a lot of different looks.
Yep, especially the garden section. Teams have been known to play a lot of forest since there's a lot of open skies. You can boop people off. Lee J Gong from the Overwatch League, 10 boops in one match. Yeah, so we definitely could see a bunch of different things today.
That we could. And as we head into Lijiang Tower, it's going to be a fantastic matchup. All of the submaps offer different things, and in particular, we're going to be starting out on Control Center today, which I think kind of heavily favors the Brawl composition.
I do too. You, yeah, there's a bunch of small corridors, which is really good for Ryan's hammer. Matched with Azaria, you could get a bunch of high charge and then just melt anybody basically. So it'll be
That you
interesting.
could.
It'll be
Yeah, if you get people caught in those tight corridors, that is Brawl Central.
yeah, and it looks like another thing which it looks like Void is going with is the Symmetra, which we've seen teams run Sim here before, which it's not that uncommon. You can set up your Sim turrets at in the middle and just have them do damage. But I'll bring it back over to you as we start the match.
Yeah, both teams going to be rolling out, meeting kind of in this middle area right below the servers. The brawl is starting out in force right here. We see both Symmetras getting their beams highly charged. An Immortality Field has to be committed by Shattered Void, but they're going to back up to point. VCU instead going to rotate around. They're running out with a double shield, whereas VCU, or rather, VCU coming out with a double shield and Shattered Void on a more typical looking rush composition. First pick is going to go to Shattered Void, though, as a couple of members fall from BCU. They expend the Amplification Matrix, and I imagine they're going to be wanting that back after this fight.
Yeah, both teams coming out with the different comps basically. We have the double shields, but it looks like the big Papa is gonna switch over to the Diva, so we're gonna get a mirror match.
Yeah, this mirror match is gonna, I think, be the way to go for VCU. We see the photon barrier now committed. Shatter comes in from Ashley,
Huge.
lands, knocks down a couple of members. Immortality Field is out as well, but it's not going to be enough to save she as she goes down with that photon barrier of their own. This is an opportunity now for VCU to come into this. They're going to pop the Riptire, and it does find value. VCU poised to take this point after a
Yeah.
couple of nice picks.
Yeah. Nice way of coming back from that first fight as they're just cleaning up now. The Diva pick over the Sigma, especially since Sigma shield right now is basically like a cardboard shield. um probably wasn't the best idea here, but if we look at the ult banks, VCU definitely has the ult advantage.
That's
Well,
true. They are going to be running into a sound barrier from an edge. So if they time that right, that could be a really big boon for them. Shatter comes in. It lays out three members of Shattered Void. Shattered Void getting shattered into the void. Just practically self-destruct thrown in, but it's not going to find anything. And in fact, Shattered Void coming back in this fight. Able to take a pick onto both supports. That's going to flip it for sure in their favor.
yep. And yep, that will be another point flip, as Shattered Void didn't have to use that many ults there, as VCU just resets. Ashley does have their Shadow though, but VCU do have both DPS ults, so it'll be interesting what they decide to do here, as the point keeps ticking up, as Shadow Void already has it at 85%. The
Yeah.
Riptide does come out though from
Yeah, and with
Salty,
that Riptire, there is a chance to swing this fight. The
and
Photon Barrier is going to be used as well. The Riptire finds two, and with that, this is swung completely in favor of VCU. Photon Barrier now trying to be used to hold on for dear life as long as they can on the side of Shattered Void, but it's not going to result in anything.
yeah, good Riptide from the side of VCU, turning that fight easily, as they turn the point again, but it's at 99, so this will be final fight territory if Vo- Shattered Void can retake it.
Yeah, and that's going to be a tough ask for them, although they are coming in with this amplification matrix. Early pick, though, in favor of Shattered Void. Really going to open things up. And look at that
Oh,
Riptire. That was tremendous. Chimera coming in huge for Shattered Void. It's going to be very hard for VCU to try and come back in this. I don't think there's hardly going to be a touch. We've got Salty Sylvian on that Tracer to try and keep the hope alive as the Wrecking Ball comes as well. But Nova Den is removed, and I don't think this is gonna be any chance for VCU to come back in this. They're just stalling the inevitable at this
yeah,
point.
yeah, amazing Riptire saves the the point for him, for Shattered Void, as they take an early 1-0 lead on Lijiang Tower, 100-70.
Now it's going to be up to VCU to try to come back in one of these maps that favors more of a divey composition or a disruption based composition. We're going to be headed to Gardens, which swings, I believe, that pendulum firmly as far as just about as far as it can go in that direction. And we already see both teams hovering over brawl comp, or rather not, some dive compositions, or a six-man dive in one case, and kind of a bald six-man dive in the other.
Yep, we are seeing the pharmacy come out, which I said during the pregame, Gardens is known for a lot of Pharah play. So this will be really interesting to see
That
as
it will.
we get into the first fight.
We're going to see Ashley roll through, try to get a little bit of ult charge on that wrecking ball. They've moved to a point, and at this point, yeah, VCU getting surrounded.
Oh!
Ashley comes in with a double pile driver kill, taking out one DPS and take from the fight. Rez is going to come in onto Farah, and that's going to be Shattered Void back to full strength.
Yep, that pile driver there was amazing from Ashley, as Garden does go down, which the down there off tank actually does get hacked up also and goes down. So Shattered Void is missing their tank line, as VCU just has come back in and turned the point again.
Yeah, and with the point back in their favor, it's going to be up to these next ultimates that are coming online. Actually, take that back. Ashley's going to come back in for a stall. They're going to try and pull as much percentage out of this as they can. They finally go down, and with that, she drops in next to try and continue this stall. Farah is going to be the next one to touch point after this. And in fact, they're coming in with a barrage, which yields 2 kills. The point eventually flips in favor of VCU, but the fight is definitely swung to the side of Shattered Void. Hippie commits the coalescence as well, and Big Papa is removed from the fight. This is now going to be Shattered Voids to take.
Yeah, uh, the Farah here is amazing. Even if you can build up that barrage, you can easily win a fight. Ashley does find the tracer of VCU, but so VCU is coming in with a self-destruct primal and sim Sombra's ult. But self-destruct comes out, EMP
Oh, and
comes
it's
out too.
timed with that EMP. Doesn't yield anything, though. Gonna have a minefield now committed onto the bridge by Ashley. They are gonna find Hippie. Another pick comes out onto Salty Sylvian as well. Big Papa has been demeched. And with that demech, there's not gonna be much defense in store for VCU. They need to reset fast because they've got just one more shot at capping this point.
Yeah, uh, and we saw there that the Nano did go on to the Farah on the side of Shattered. So, oop,
Self-destruct now coming in from Garden, not going to yield any kills, but she is there to finish the job. Novaden out of the fight, and with your main tank down, that tip of the spear, that initiation mechanism is gone as well. Novaden swapping over to the Wrecking Ball very quickly, but she comes in with a gigantic Jeff Blossom, finds Hippie to clean up the rest of what's left of VCU, and that is going to be Shattered Void coming away with a 2-0 win on Lijiang Gardens.
yep, easy, come in, take that first map win, which is always important, especially in the first to three. But it will be VCU's map pick, I think.
That
So
is absolutely correct.
yeah, so I'll be interested in what we'll see next. But honestly, both teams showed their strengths. Definitely, this could be a match that could go into more than 3 maps.
It certainly is. VCU definitely showed signs of life there, and in particular, I liked their brawl on control point. I think they were very, very, uh, very, very competent there. And like you said, now it's going to be up to VCU to decide whether or not they want to go to Temple of Anubis or Volskaya Industries. And I think both of these provide some opportunities each way.
Yeah, yeah. So we will see, and if if VCU can tie it up next map, or if we'll or if Shattered Void will get to 2-0 and be on match point.
Yeah, we will find out very soon as we head to Temple of Anubis. And
All
it
right.
looks like Shattered Void wants to go on to attack first. So we're going to get a full-on side swap here. Um,
Yeah.
and that's, yeah, gonna provide, provide a VCU with the opportunity to kind of set the goal line, right? To set the goal line that Shattered Void has to, or that they themselves will have to cross. So if they can do an excellent job on this first defense, that can be a really big boon to them.
Yep. Especially, yep, as you said, if VCU can set a good time bank and capture both, that Shattered Void could see it as a big boom and basically try to figure out what to do next. But this Anubis totally had Anubis has points where you can definitely play the brawl. It's more dive worthy, but it can go either way. Most teams are known to run can't. People play junk sometimes on here, so we could see some more junk play.
That we
But
can. Junkrat can really tie up a lot of these chokes, especially using that steel trap he has. As a wrecking ball main myself, I tend to find those more frequently than I think I should. And on the defensive side, they're gonna start out with a bunker composition. Salty Sylvian going over to the Torb as well, gonna provide that seventh angle, really, that seventh kind of stationary player on the field that can really shut down flankers.
yep, you can set up the turret basically anywhere on the high ground. The first point, you can set it up on the stall by the choke. You can set it up on the bridge, and it'll look like they'll be setting it up on the by the yeah the left way as we go in. Echo, surprisingly, for the side of Shattered Void.
Yeah, with the Echo coming out, that means the Mercy is in tow as well. That's going to leave Magikarp largely exposed, but Annas can take care of themselves. As we see this kind of disruption composition starting to surround VCU, and with that, Sylvian gonna fall very quickly, actually able to get a nice kill onto Salty Sylvian, and with that, this point has really opened up in favor of Shattered Void.
Yes, it has. The Echo definitely had the um Echo definitely showed its worth on here. As we see Salty switch over to the Cassidy, so we see the double hit scans come out from VCU here to try to worry about the Echo.
I think that's a good plan right there because that Echo can be brutal, and they've started to build up that duplicate quite well. Guardian going down, though, right before they're getting ready to engage is unfortunate, especially because they just used that Resurrection, too, to bring
Yeah,
back somebody else. I forget who exactly it was, but Guardian's going to be back in the fight, actually looking for an engage from the left side. Going to go ahead and start to move in, but because they don't have their off tank there, she falls, but she's going to get rezzed, and with that, they're going to be able to initiate this with a Valkyrie and a Nano Boost committed. And now that Nano Boost onto actually the Wrecking Ball, they're going to be able to get the minefield out onto a point, half of it covered by them, but it's going to be Salty Sylvie coming in with a huge Deadeye that equalizes for the defense. And now, because of that, things have firmly swung in their favor. It's going to be up to Shattered Void to see if they can get a few extra picks in here. Otherwise, it's going to be VCU
ooh,
holding on. And with a nice remake kill onto Novaden, things are starting to swing their way. Amplification Matrix now committed by Hippie on the side of VCU. Novaden just was able to respawn, and Shattered Void getting several picks, but unable to really start to push the point. That is until these last few picks come in from Echo. Magikarp gets a nice anti-nade kill as well. Big Papa, though, coming back in with a kill, and once again, this VCU side able to successfully defend and set on point, but not for long.
yeah. Anubis, especially this second point on attack, is hard to take if you don't snowball it, which they try to, and we do see a comp switch up on the side of Shattered Void where we will see the May Cass, Rhine, and Bab come out. So they're going for more of a brawl. Ooh. Salty also does switch over to the May as well.
Yeah, these May swaps are going to make it very hard for both of these tanks to push in. We see Chimeras come out first. Immortality Field committed, as was the Supercharger, but the Supercharger's not long for this world. Stun comes on to Big Papa. But they're still getting the kills they need. Novaden is out of the fight, unfortunately. Swag Lobster does get revived, so they're still in this. VC, or rather, Shattered Void trying desperately to come back in this fight and get a tick on the board. But they're able to actually at the last moment, 2 ticks on the board. As a matter of fact, can VCU come back in this for a final defense? They've got one person touching. 3 minutes on the clock. They want to burn as much down as they can because this Shattered Void team is aggressive, and we've seen what kind of damage they can do. Self-destruct now thrown out from Big Papa, temporarily zones people away, but the Deadeye from She is going to land. So Shattered Void has done a tremendous job already. Amplification Matrix now used by Hippie from VCU to try and hold on to point, but it's not going to be enough. And Shattered Void caps with 2:45 on the clock.
Yep. As I said, the second point is really hard to capture, especially after that switch over to the Cassidy, which, first of all, it counters the Echo, and it also counters the Diva, since the Flashbang, you can stun the Diva, and basically you put her boosters, which are a big way of moving quickly with her, out of commission, and her defense matrix. So, yeah, as we might see more Torb.
It's looking likely if what they're rolling out on is anything to believe. They don't have much of a time to go back and swap, so I think the Torb makes a lot of sense. Once again, on defense, you like having another extra angle covered, an extra flank that you don't really have to worry about, and that is potentially going to shut down Sweg Lobster if they remain on this Tracer.
Yep, the Soldier too. So, is an interesting pick. Salty will maybe stay on the Echo, so we'll get a dive with a Brig, as we will be going into the first fight.
We see Novaden thinking about diving in onto that island, just posturing at the moment. But in the meantime, Salty Sylvian getting in a little bit of damage. That Torp turret not really finding too much value yet because Shattered, or rather, VCU hasn't pushed in just quite yet. They're still waiting for the opportune time to engage. Novaden does go in for a soft dive. They go down very low, but their supports are there to heal them back up. Ashley commits the Fortify, and Garden uses their Kinetic Grasp as well. So that was definitely an opportune time for VCU to try to push in. But that turret was there to take out Salty Sylvian, and I'm not sure if they're in a resable position, so they're likely just going to reset.
Yeah, the Torp turret makes it really hard to res, since you have that other angle that they're shooting at. They need to shut down that Torp quickly before he can build up the Molten, which he's already 15% too.
He is very close to that Molten Core, and that is such a great stalling ultimate to have, especially on the defensive side. Now, the boost got to be committed onto Novaden, but they are going to be booped away before they're able to get successfully onto that island. They do get there on the second attempt now, and now Molten Core does get committed all over that island. Novaden is taken out by it, and the tack visor as well from Chimera going to discourage any further attempt at pushing in from VCU.
Yep, good use of ult, and I see what VCU was trying to do. They were trying to cycle it, so they were trying to use the nano to build up the primal, which would have allowed the next fight. You could have used the primal to help push the players off this high ground to try to go 2-point. Salty does have this duplicate though, so it'll be interesting on who they use it on.
And here comes the engagement from Novaden. We have a Gravitic Flux being used by Garden, but it doesn't find anybody. Crucially, Ashley goes down with that supercharger in tow as well. So now it's definitely VCU's time, an opportunity to come in, but with great value coming in from Chimera. It slowed them down at least temporarily. Now they've got this point firmly surrounded. Inage pops the amplification matrix on point, but a Bob is going to take them out very quickly and very efficiently. She, the last remaining survivor on point, is taken out of the fight, and with that, VCU is going to cap first.
Yep, it looked, they were down to like their last minute, and they will get 2 minutes, 3 minutes on the clock to push here. They will be coming in with a self-destruct for the side of VCU, but Shatter does have the Molten, the Arisa ult, and the Rally.
Yeah, and all three of those can be used to stall things out. We talked about Molten Core before, but that Supercharger, if it gets popped at the right time, if it gets popped once VCU has committed, then they can't back out, then that could be a very quick end to this fight. Nanoboost's going to be committed onto Novaden. Here's the Supercharger in response. Magikarp commits the rally, and they're going to throw actually every single ultimate they can at them. Shattered Void does not want to let VCU come in with even a hint of success here, as they've already taken Novaden out of the fight. This push is essentially lost.
Yep, and Salty did shut down that bite, that Arisa ult, which I can't remember ult names tonight for some
Supercharger.
reason. Super. I should know that.
It's all good, my dude.
Yeah, the Supercharger did go down kind of quickly in that fight. Rain, we do have VCU does have the Mercy ult, as High Noon will come out, but finds no one. Probably just a zoning ult, and a huge anti comes out.
Yeah, and now with Bob on the point, Swag Lobster doing a lot of damage via their robotic butler. It's going to yield them 2 ticks on the point. Can they get a third? It looks like Salty Sylvian able to take Magikarp out of the fight, but there has been a counter pick. They need to get the rest of these picks out. Otherwise, Shattered Void going to be able to come back in and stall this point out further. Ashley is able to get a pick on the Swag Lobster, and without a main source of your damage in the fight, it's going to make it very difficult to stay on. Self-destruct comes in from a duplicated Diva, but that's not going to yield too much. And at this point, the Shattered Void has had a chance to regroup and come back and save this fight.
Yep. They switch over to the Rhine at the end of that fight, so they moved on to more of a brawl type comp, as we will see a switch over from VCU to the May brawl type comp, which is really interesting, saying you only have a minute and change left on the clock for this.
That's an excellent point. With only a minute left, it's going to be hard for Salty Sylvan to build up a Blizzard if they don't win this fight. And at this point, it looks like it's going the way of Shattered Void, as a 60-second mark has been eclipsed. We are getting close to last fight territory for VCU. They've got at least one more good shot, maybe 2 if they lose and can reset quickly.
Yep. Hippie will be switching over to the BAP. So that is really interesting to see. They did use Nano, so that last fight to try to go in. It didn't yield too much, but we are in the last 30 seconds. It is crunch time. She will be switching over to the Cassidy, as all VCU has is the self-destruct, but a huge shatter comes out. Big Papa uses the self-destruct, but it's just in vain, as this will be an easy victory for the side of Shattered Void.
Yeah, VCU just not quite able to get to the point there in that last fight. They got stalled out in the room over on the right side from the defender's perspective and just unable to push out. So unable to really get much of a hold on that final point. And with that, Shattered Void goes up 2-0 in this 1-3 series.
Yep, as we will take a break, right? Yep, for both teams.
Yeah, we're going to take a short break here as the teams take a break as well. But we've got more action coming to you as we see if VCU can stave off defeat in this 1-3. They are down 2-0 to Shattered Void. They've got the pick again in terms of map, and we will be headed to a hybrid. So it's either going to be Numbani or Kings Row, where they stage potentially their final defense. But don't go anywhere. We'll be back very soon.
Yep.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the broadcast. Thank you for sticking with us during that short break. If you're just joining us, Shattered Void up 2-0 over VCU right now. And we will be heading to Kings Row for our third and what could be our final map. Pokemon Pat.
Yeah, so this is a very interesting map pick since you could teams in the past have been known to not mainly, but Kings Row has been considered by most a good map to play Brawl. You have a bunch of wide open areas, but especially on the third point, when you're in a small corridor, well, not small, but compared to the rest of the map, it's a good Brawl spot.
That it is. I like to think of the street space as an excellent brawl spot as well. They're so tight and narrow, just about the width of a Rhine hammer swing. So they really lend themselves, I think, to that kind of composition. On the defensive side, we've got VCU once again. Shattered Void wanted to go on the attack first, and VCU gonna roll out with a pretty standard brawl composition. Nothing to be surprised of here.
Yeah. So, yeah, nothing surprising here. This is what you would expect from most Kings Row maps. The Cassidy May brawl with the Diva Rhine is very interesting. As we will see. No, I was about to say, will we be seeing the Doom? I don't. I was surprised if we would. But we will be heading into it. And I'll lend it one more time to you.
Shattered Void gonna start pushing in aggressively, but actually gonna be caught out by the Maywall. Stun comes in, but it's not gonna result in anybody's demise just yet. Both immortality fields have to be used and expended, and now it's gonna be up to Shattered Void to decide when to push in. They decide the moment is now, and they push in hard. It's gonna result in 2 early picks onto the backline, and with no supports, the rest of VCU falls by the wayside.
Yeah, quick, easy fight for Shattered Void. Building up 80% to the Shatter, which compared to Nova is a big difference since Nova's only getting up to 45% here. So Shattered Void definitely has the ult advantage as we see a window be used, but a wall trying to block most of it. And that will be it as VCU is pushing back now.
With VCU falling back, that's going to allow quite a bit of cart progress to happen. I imagine the cart at this point is pushed up pretty close to the bookshop, but they're going to probably try and hold here on this final corner, see if they can't mount a good hold here. As VCU comes back in, they are going to back up towards the cart a little bit. High Noon committed by Swag Lobster. They're walking around that Maywall. And a counter High Noon from the back line. Sheez is going to land, going to take Hippie out of the fight. And with that, it's going to be equalized actually fairly quickly after VCU comes back in for a fantastic hold here in the streets phase.
Yep, definitely. They just needed a time to and that's what they did. They regrouped, came in with those ults, invested the Noon and the Blizzard, and now Nova 80% towards his Shatter, as Ashley did build up a Shatter as also. So we do have Shattered self-destruct come
Shatter is
out.
going to be committed. And with that, the second one is committed as well. Novidens, though, going to find Garden. They're going to be demeched as a result of that. High Noon once again committed. Swag Lobster doing a phenomenal job building these very quickly for VCU. Ashley going to be stunned and removed from the fight. So once again, Swag Lobster coming in clutch. Blizzard now committed by Chimera. And with that, the cold chill of death is going to start enveloping the rest of the members of VCU as they fall back for resupports.
Yeah. So, yeah, really good play by Swag, building up another high noon in that fight. As Salty is 80% towards their Blizzard, while there's no on the side of Shatter, they're only at 40%. As she does have their noon though. So we will see what will happen next.
High Noon
And
is committed early on by She, but the sound barrier is there to mitigate any damage that could have come their way. Sound barrier committed by Nidge as well to equalize, and gonna see picks on both sides as Hippie has popped that amplification matrix to try and slow down this roll from Shattered Void, but they are continuing to push the cart. They've got it just about around this first corner. And as they're starting to round the second one, Magic Card pops their amplification matrix too. That's going to force back members of VCU. They're going to have to hold a much more defensive position. Swag Lobster, though, with the help of an Immortality Field, able to get a Deadeye kill onto Ashley. And now VCU is able to just clean up.
yep, a nice roll comes up, trying to stall them for a little bit longer, as that was a really good investment of ults from the side of VCU. They still have the self-destruct Blizzard as they are building up towards a Shatter. Blizzard comes out from both sides, but Big Papa eats the Shattered Void's Blizzard.
Yeah, what an incredible play there coming out. We've got Shatters exchanged, and it's going to be Shattered Void coming up a little bit ahead on this one. The self-destruct is there, not going to result in anything, and Rainrise takes a trip into the void below. Hippie going to be taken out of the fight as well by Garden, and with that, it's just going to be up to VCU to try and stall now as long as they can. As the time gets down to just about 3 minutes, is anyone going to touch Novaden there at the last moment? The stun comes out onto them. They go down to about half health, but Swag Lobster once again with a high noon, briefly zoning members of Shattered Void away, but not for long. They cap with just under 3 minutes on the clock.
Yeah, and I don't want to say it yet, but it might be looking like this might be a 3-0 victory for the side of Shattered Void. Their brawl is looking better, and all I can say is VCU, this is their last chance to do something.
Yeah, they've got to come out here with a blisteringly fast attack because right now, the members of Shattered Void are sitting on top of a fast attack, and it's going to be a tough ask. We've seen just how well Shattered Void can hold a defensive point like this. So, as they're coming out on, once again, what looks like a pretty standard brawl, I've got to be concerned for VCU. They're going to have to show up big here. They're going to have to pull something out.
Yeah, I don't think going the mirror comp here is the play, since Shattered Void has just been looking better on it this entire match. So they just seem to be hitting their head against a brick wall, trying to run this same exact comp at, as it will be a mirror comp. So I am worried for VCU.
VCU going to come out of the gates now. This is their final opportunity to try and come back in the series. Their backs are against the wall. Maywall going to come out early from Salty Sylveon, but unable to catch out the main tank there, Ashley. They go back to their team with impunity. Big Papa's going to be the first to fall, and with that, the tank line goes down, and the rest of the members of VCU.
Yep, VCU definitely needs to change something up here. Maybe it's changing it to the Zarya, since Zarya Ryan is a good role type comp against what Shattered Void is playing. But we
That's
will
an
see.
excellent point, yeah.
Yeah. As
That Zarya could definitely chunk through a lot of the armor, and you know, it's that Zarya beam is unfazed by the defense matrix of Garden, so that could be a very good opportunity for them to come back in this fight. If they can disable Garden, that could be a route to victory, but they're going to start things off by rotating through this high ground.
Yep, and they don't see She. She was hiding. and they get the stun on the Lucio, which slows down their momentum. As right now, they just VCU will be taking the long way around to the point.
That they will, and with the long way around to point is a lot of time burned off the clock as well. But they have a new opportunity here, and they're gonna pop. Both teams gonna use their amplification matrices to try and get some value here. She is able to find Rain Rise with their Deadeye. Shatter does come in as well, and that's gonna result, or rather, a stun comes in, results in Ashley briefly being knocked out of the fight, but. They're gonna hold on strong, and Shattered Void continues this defense.
Yep, as the clock keeps ticking down with a little over a minute, this seems like it's all but lost here for VCU, as they'll be wondering after this match what they need to fix, which they could see a resurgence next game.
Oh,
But
what a shatter coming in from Ashley. Self-destruct thrown down into the backline as well. In what looked like it could have been a clean wipe coming in from VCU is turned instead into another defensive victory for Shattered Void. And they're going to be able to only step away with one tick given up.
Yep, as VCU does have that. This is their second to last team fight with 60 seconds left on the clock. Swag Lobster does have the high noon though, so we could see a high noon shatter here.
That we could. That would be absolutely devastating to Shattered Void. 40 seconds left on the clock. This is their do or die moment. And VCU going to start it off with a self-destruct from Big Papa. It is going to land on a Magic Carp, so now there's just the heals from Inej, and it looks like this team may have had more life breathed into them as the Shatter lands as well. Sound barriers there from Rainrise, and that's going to be this first point going in favor of VCU.
Yep, finally. Last 40 seconds. They used everything they had in the tank, but now they gotta snowball this street phase, since if they don't, they'll be with a lesser time bank and potentially more down than they would think. As Shattered Void does have the ult advantage here with the noon shatter, and as I say shatter, the 3-man shatter does come back out.
Yeah, and with that three-man shatter, it's going to be a really tough thing for them to try and come back into this fight. Hippie pops the amplification matrix to try and stymie the bleeding, but Big Papa is still removed. And with that, Nova Den goes down as well. Once again, Shattered Void coming back in with an excellent defense here, and they're going to potentially be able to hold right here at Arches.
Yep, which would be this is a big ask for VCU. VCU does have the high noon though. It could be big. The walls do get in place though as the high noons come out, but she is behind them and finds 2.
What an excellent play coming out there from the DPS star of Shattered Void. That the flank Cassidy has come up big for them twice now, once on attack and once on defense as well. I think the attack one actually they got a pick, but the fight didn't go their way, unfortunately, at least in that circumstance. VCU going to be able to take this card under their control, as several members of Shattered Void were lost in that last fight, and they need to back up to regroup. But they're going to get another solid chance to hold here on this final corner of Kings Row Streets phase.
The destruct will come out from the side of Shattered Void, but this seems all but over now. I don't want to say it because there is just 30 seconds left on the clock, but VCU needs something big. Big Papa getting staggered is a big time waster here too, as they'll have 10 seconds left at the most. Yeah. as they
Yeah, and
need
with
a
only
push.
10 seconds on the clock, this shatter and self-destruct are gonna have to be big. Rainrise does have the sound barrier online and ready to go, but they're gonna have to survive whatever Shattered Void is throwing at them. Ashley trying to bait for a shatter, and it works out! He turned his back to them. The sound
Huge
barriers there from
shatter.
Rainrise, though, and they're able to save their team from certain doom. Immortality Field has to be committed by Magikarp. Here comes the Deadeye, and it's gonna land in a big way for VCU, as does their Blizzard. And Shattered Void is once again going to be denied a victory here in Kings Row. VCU gets to fight another round.
Yep, VCU. When everything they're down, they just come back stronger, and they will capture the 3rd point, but they, no matter what, they will finish with a lesser time bank. And if they don't finish with any time, they would have to defend for 250 for only 1 tick.
Actually coming out now with the rest of Shattered Void. The wall doesn't quite section anybody off. She pops the Deadeye once again, and through that amplification matrix, it does a tremendous amount of damage, but not enough to secure a kill. Salty Sylveon, though, is taken out of the fight after they have to use their Ice Block to try and stay alive, and the rest of VCU backs up so that they can get their DPS back in the fold.
Yep, a wall. The self-destruct comes out, though. Even though the fight is 40 seconds remains. This will be the second to last team fight, as Big Papa does have the self-destruct online for this last fight. Well, this pan-ultimate fight.
Blizzard going to be committed by Chimera early on. They want to stop this fight in its tracks before it starts, and it's off to a great start for Shattered Void as Rain rises out of the fight. They could have had that sound barrier online, but it's looking less and less likely, especially now that Big Papa has been demeched as well. Things are falling apart for VCU, and this, actually, they're coming back in this as the shatter doesn't land, but the damage is still done. VCU coming alive at the last moment once again, and you are absolutely right, Pokemon Pat. That was the penultimate fight, because this one is surely going to be the last, one way or another.
Yeah, we will either see a 3rd round, or we will see Shadow Nova taking home their first win of the season, as both teams have ult. Big Papa does send out the self-destruct.
Oh, the remake is going to find value, though, and Edge is taken out of the fight. Rain pops the sound barrier to try and keep VCU alive in their hopes of coming back in this match as well. Rainrise, though, going to be taken off the map, and that's going to do it. Shattered Void comes out with the win.
Yeah, GG's all over the place. Shattered Void with the easy 3-0. And honestly, VCU did show some signs of light this. It is the first week, so they did show signs of light. So it might seem like they might be better next week, but we will see what happens after a week more to prepare.
That's such a good point. You know, these teams can improve a whole lot in just a week span. And I'm excited to see what they're going to bring to us next time here at the Peachimaris. But we are going to take a short break. And during that time, we're going to discuss our choices for MVPs and bring in a couple of players for an interview. So stick around. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the broadcast. We have your two MVPs here in the booth with us for an interview. Swag Lobster from VCU and She from Shattered Void. First off, congrats to both of you on an excellent game played today. And She, particularly to you and Shattered Void for coming up with a win.
Yeah, thank you. It was a hard fought victory. Uh,
Now, to start things off, I wanted to chat with Swag Lobster a little bit. You're from VCU. You are a collegiate team, and
Mhm.
I actually grew up in Roanoke, Virginia, so just a few hours away from there. So love seeing Virginia teams represented in this tournament. And my question for you is, do you all have anything exciting coming up with your esports program? Anything new that's happening with the school?
Yeah, actually, we are getting a esports like room built, and gonna have computers in there and everything. Uh, and basically, esports is going to become a big thing around here, and
That is
probably going to actually get
fantastic.
scholarships and stuff from it. I'm pretty sure. So
No way,
yeah.
really? That is absolutely incredible. I love hearing that. I'm an old guy. I graduated from college in 2004, and we had nothing like this during my tenure there. So I just
Yeah.
love hearing about all this popping up all across the U.S. and especially there in Virginia.
Yep.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna turn the next question over to you, Pokemon Pat.
All right. This is gonna go over to She. How do you guys? First of all, congrats on the win.
Thank you.
Huge first week win. Secondly, how do you guys feel going into next week, knowing you are up with a 1-0 map record?
We're pretty confident. Uh, I think uh, I think we're a little bit nervous coming into this one, but I think we sort of worked out a lot of kinks during that game, and yeah.
All right.
Excellent. To follow that up, what do you think who presented the biggest problem, the biggest threat to you on the side of VCU? What did you all have to overcome in order to come away with this victory tonight?
Honestly, probably Crab. Um, Personally, he was pretty nasty on McCree. Um, and he took me out a few times. And probably won them a few team fights. So yeah.
All right. I'm gonna swing this question over to VCU to Lobster. Tell me how you guys went out today. First week, first week jitters. We all have them, but you came out losing 3-0. How do you guys feel going into next week?
Not really bad per se because for me personally, and I'd say for like Hippie for Sale, we've been on many teams before, so as you can see, probably by our performance, we don't really have the jitters, I could say. But a lot of people on our team do. This is their first time doing anything like this at all. Our our tanks, for example, like our main tank wasn't even a main tank player until this started. So
Really?
yeah,
They
so,
did a tremendous job then.
yeah.
Yeah.
Knowing that is huge.
He's just now learning
Yeah.
main tank, and he's catching up. He's catching on real quick and stuff. So yeah, we're really excited for what's happening for coming along.
Awesome.
Excellent. Well, that's fantastic. I'm going to close this out with just one more question. Going to give it to both of you. Any shout outs either of you would like to give? And we'll start with you, Swag Lobster.
A streamer that I know by the name of Weasel Cake. They were in the chat earlier, and they
Oh, I
used to
think they
stream Overwatch.
raided. I think they
Yeah.
raided, as a matter of fact. Yeah, I saw that.
And yeah, they're a fabulous streamer, so you should definitely check them out. And they were actually the creator of the Peachimaris, believe it or not.
Really?
The
Oh, that's
entirety of
so
the
awesome.
Peachimaris was created by a collaboration of me, uh, Hippies for Sale, and Weasel Cake. So
Oh, that's awesome. I had no idea. We're talking to royalty here in the interview booth tonight. Peachimari royalty. That is fantastic. Well, thank you so much from me. First off for putting this thing on.
oh
Yeah.
no, don't need to thank me. Honestly, Hippies for Sale did 100% of the work.
Oh, I did not.
He's in the background,
I
believe
can
it or
hear that.
not.
Heard that in the background. That's fantastic. All right, well, swinging it over to you, She. Any shout outs that you would like to give?
I'd just like to shout out Grimoire on Shattered Void or Garden in game. He's a very motivational player, very creative individual, and he probably got us that win more than me, to be honest. I think he deserved the MVP. But
Excellent. Love to hear those kind words. And thank you both so much for coming into the interview tonight. And once again, excellent gameplay by both of you.
Yep.
Yeah.
GG.
GG.
Thank you for the game.
All right. Well, that's going to do it from us here in the casting booth tonight. But don't worry, there will be more Overwatch Peachimari action coming up soon. I don't have the schedule in front of me, so I apologize. I don't know exactly when, but it will be happening soon. So be sure to stay tuned in the Discord and on their Twitter. And before we close things out, any final words from you, Peachimari Pat?
I
Or
have to
Pokemon
say,
Pat.
yo, that's gonna be my new Twitter tag.
I like it.
GG's to both teams, and good luck to your next couple games.
All right, well, that's going to do it from us. Thank you so much. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you to all of our production. I'm Akaizoku. Thank you so much. Thank you to my casting partner, Pokemon Pat, as well. That's going to do it for us. GG's, and see you next time.
See ya.
Yep, see ya.